Hello and welcome to Mondays. And here we are for the Quantum Human Revelations. So I have a very simple question to start this week off with. How's time been for you? Let me know in the comments if you can actually believe that it's already October. It's just a bit shocking, really. I kind of still feel it's September, but equally I kind of felt like August felt more like September and September felt more like August. So it's kind of like time has been a bit all over the place, but do please put something in the comments and let me know you're here and what your time experience has been over the last few weeks. So while I'm waiting for people to join me and to see the live going up, I'm just going to check that the YouTube part is all working so I can see the comments. So hello to everyone on Zoom that's joining me on Zoom, and hello to everyone on YouTube. Yeah, others are saying, can't believe it's October already. It's shocking. It's so shocking. Yeah, it's doing the same again. So I can kind of, I can see the video, but I can't see the comments. All right, I'm going to do the thing I normally do. So yeah, time has sort of been shooting by this last 4 weeks. And, you know, September's not even a short month, it's a long month. But I definitely feel like, you know, we had that really cold weather here in the UK in August, and then it got warmer in September. We had a bit of a heat wave. And now, I'm not sure what month we're in now, but it kind of, you know, given that a few months ago, we were talking about time and time's changing. And as we ascend and our frequency gets higher, how our concept of time is going to change. And I guess, you know, we're moving into new frontiers. So who knows what time's going to feel like to us. But I must, you know, we were told, like as kids, the time seemed to be like longer. We had more time, and as adults, it was quicker. But even as an adult, it feels 10 times quicker than it did last year. It just feels that the time has gone before you've even batted an eyelid. So that kind of means then that today, the conversation is going to be about October energies. So grab yourselves a cup of tea and come and join me. I often forget to say this, but I am Trudy. Hopefully it's all over my page, so you know it's me. And my galactic name is White Star, so that's where White Star comes from. In fact, it's actually Seren Wen, which is Welsh, and that's how it came to me as a Welsh word. So I translated it for you guys into White Star. And I kind of think it's related to the Sirius Stargate. So let me just, somebody joining me on Zoom. Just need to make sure that's all blocked there. Cool. So we don't have a surprise when they end up being suddenly announced on Facebook Live. Sorry, I can say Facebook, on YouTube Live. Okay, so we've got, is there anybody on YouTube there that can give me a message so I can see that we're actually running and I can see comments? That would be good. So we're just asking people, while we're waiting for people to join us, about how you've been experiencing time over the last month, how quickly it's gone for you and what it means to you. So the interesting thing for me is that October always feels like new beginnings. I know that numerologically it's got the 1 in it, you know, it's the start of the 1 energy that goes from the 10, 11, 12, and then down to 1 in January. But at the moment, given how time is shifting so much, I can't even kind of, given it's a man-made calendar, I can't even get my head around if that 1 energy is really related to the date of the month of a man-made calendar, or if there's something bigger going on. But I do generally get the feeling that October is a good time because it's got the 1 and the 0. So as an energetic, if we just take the energies rather than the numbers, it's initiation, but it's also this kind of completion of a circle, this symbol for perfection of manifesting. So I think this month really, when I did the energy reading, which I'll give you in a moment, it really kind of met into that energy. And even the full moon that we've just had of Aries is about manifesting, initiation and starting. So maybe it's more of that gives that energy than the actual numbers of a man-made month. So I'll let you guys tune into that and see what you think, because, you know, part of what I do every Monday is giving you guys a chance for you to stretch your imagination, for you to think about energy and think about how your words impact things, and to play a little bit with that and ask questions. I'm not seeing any comments coming through on YouTube. If anybody is putting comments in, I'm not seeing them at the moment, just to let you know. So I'll carry on, I'll get started in a moment. So welcome to Quantum Human Revelations. And I want you to join me today to consider what your intentions are for this October. So like I said, it's very much an initiation month. So what do you want to initiate this month? What do you want to create? What do you want to be able to say in maybe 1 or 2 months' time? What ticking box do you want in those timeframes? Just really start planning your life, planning your goals, planning your dreams. Because at the end of last month, we had the equinox, and we started pulling into this balancing of our personality, which is connected to our past, which is connected to fear, and allowing the soul to take more precedence, to be more of the personality working for the soul, to achieve your soul's desires. Now that energy is always going to come through, and I've told you last week as well, there's a meditation that I put up live on my channel for you to do, so you can get that balance brought in as well. And you might need to try it a few times, because the first time might knock you out. It's quite powerful. So don't try and read or do anything else when you're doing it, but keep doing it until you can stay awake for it, and then you can kind of really know you're embodying that information. But the key is now, it's almost like you've just been birthed into a new version of you, this new version of you that's got this more of a of your soul kind of stepping forward into your life, and the personality now taking a secondary role of serving the soul. And what that means is that you really need to think about what you want to create and how you want to create it and who you want to be. So Marta's saying timeline is all over the place, and Jenny's saying yesterday I pulled a card, initiation. Yeah, this is very much a week of initiation or month of initiation. Hey, yes, Judy's messages are coming out. Good, I can see comments. Yes, passing through crazy time shifts and new beginnings in a few areas. Yeah, it's a really fiery, big energy. And if you remember last month, I spoke about the granite and that kind of how it was able to kind of transmute the electric striking lightning strikes into this kind of energy source, I guess. Well, that felt powerful when we were working with that last month, but this month is amplified even more. And it's kind of got the fire of Mars kind of pushing it through and really, really kind of bubbling up and giving us a lot of power to manifest with. So you have to be really careful what you want to create this month. Really focus on getting clarity of your vision and making sure that you fill in all the details so you don't leave any mistakes to manifest. So it's a very good manifesting month this month. So I think we've got everybody on. I can see everybody's comments. So let's just delve into that October energy. So for me, like I said, August seemed to be September, September seemed to be August. So the months were kind of like flipping around quite a lot. But as we're now moving into October and this initiation energy, the first part that I've got was that we needed to forgive ourselves, because as we went through that personality and soul rebalancing last month, then we may now be kind of, you know, when it's like, when you finally have mastered something and then you're kicking yourself going, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I learn this sooner? Why was I so slow? And you go through that kind of phase of wondering why you left yourself be stuck like you were. Well, we need some forgiveness for that, because everything's operating on divine timing. It wasn't like you had a choice. Some of this was divine intervention of the timing because it was based on the lessons you had to learn. So really kind of allow yourself to feel more compassion and love and forgiveness for yourself, and really look at yourself as a small child. You know, we're adults, but we're still a small child in the kind of the journey of the soul. We're still learning, we're still growing. So really allow yourself to be that child, because that child energy is really powerful. It kind of breaks away our rigidity. It breaks away our expectations to be grown up, and it encourages us to be more creative and playful. So to do that, you need to forgive yourself and allow yourself to make mistakes, allow yourself to be playful, to take time out, to rest, whatever you need to do this month to really tap into the new power of this unification of your soul and your personality. So that's kind of just a bit of advice on how to close off last month. Yeah, so I'm definitely feeling that right now. I'm glad to hear about self-forgiveness. That's going to be really important, because, you know, if you keep beating yourself up, then you're just about to create a whole month of more beating yourself up from the external world. So really, really try and master that feeling of forgiveness and that small child. You're just a small child, and you wouldn't beat a small child up for some of the things you're beating yourself up for. So the interesting thing is the theme for this month is infinite loops of expansion. So what that kind of tells me is that it's that infinity, isn't it? That infinite possibilities. Now that we've got that personality and soul more balanced, we're moving into this infinite possibilities, this infinite loop of expansion. And that can go quite quickly. So it's okay to ask it to slow down if it's going too quick for you, and to pay more attention to what's going on around you so that you can not accidentally go in the wrong direction. And I'll speak a bit more about direction in a moment. But also one of the other kind of messages was to do with everything you need is within you. And I like this photo, so I just wanted to show you this so you can see it. It's really pretty. So you've got the flowers and the earth, and it's called Cosmic Womb. And the womb, of course, represents that creation energy, that force of birthing something new into the world, which kind of meets up with the Aries energy, whether you're birthing new souls or like a new soul version, like we just did last month, whether you're birthing new ideas, whether it's physical birth of children. This cosmic womb energy is very much the energy of this month. And the key there is to know that everything you need is actually inside you. So the soul allows you to step into that knowingness and wisdom of the multidimensional realms of your higher self, of the guides, of whatever you want to call that energy that is just so expansive. With the soul stepping up more to the front of your life, it has access to all that information. And as such, having access to all that information means you're going to get a lot of opportunities this month to see where you want to go, what you want to do, who you want to be. Okay. Now, the biggest challenge you're going to have is accepting that you are regal, that you, this isn't even sovereign. Sovereign didn't come up as the word, it came up as regal, because even though I use cards, sometimes the cards don't make it. And I end up having to kind of just download the words as they come. And the words they gave me was regal, bold, leader. And again, this goes back to that Aries energy of being a leader. And it's not about being a leader as in, like I keep saying, it's not about being a leader of leading others. This is about you being the leader of your life. It's about you stepping into realizing that you can choose what happens in your life. You choose the experiences. Yes, there might be some self-sabotaging things underneath that you think you have no control over, but that's been broken down now and being the sort of veil's been removed off that, so you can see it more easily, and now you can choose more easily. It's about being noble, heroic, and majestic, but it's also a certain feeling of presence, like feeling that you deserve, well, I say you deserve to be on this planet because some people kind of know they deserve to be here but don't want to be here, but it's almost like this, you're in your right place, you're in the right, exactly the right place that you're meant to be, because that power of you where you are now is what was supposed to happen at this time. And it's that knowing that you are where you're meant to be so that you can summon up the energies that you need to really feel your power as a soul embodied being on this planet. And that's going to be a struggle for us because we've not had that experience before. It can be, that energy can be a little bit too much for the physical body. So you might have to work on your nervous system to help maintain your body. You might have to do some body work to help balance the physical body as this energy settles in. But it's about making sure that every decision you make, every thought, every word, everything you watch, everything you support, everything you like on Facebook or YouTube, that all of those things are aimed at the right type of frequency for what you want to create. And, you know, anything negative, just don't give it your attention. Don't feed it. You're too powerful. Don't give that energy away to the negative aspects. Really start focusing on a different type of vision. And that kind of takes us into this issue, is that what is your vision? Do you know what your vision is? And again, we don't have to know the whole picture, but just having a rough idea of where we're going is quite key. And the problem is you have to then ask, whose vision am I following? Is the vision the right vision for you? In which case, how are you going to hold it? And if it's the wrong one, what you need to do to adjust it, to bring it back on in alignment with your soul now, not your personality. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so that regal energy, we're getting back into that King Arthur energy. You know, he was a, I think he was even like the lion heart, wasn't he? He has the lion as the emblem, so it's that big heart energy. He was adventurous. He slayed dragons and demons and found the Holy Grail and mastered that whole journey of self-discovery using Excalibur as the guide through his journey, and then ultimately leading him to that timelessness of the Holy Grail. So that's the kind of journey that we're going through. And that's the kind of character that we want to try and embody and practice being this month, and really strengthening and amplifying it until we feel that presence. Like, we are here, but we're also confident with who we are comfortable, and we feel like we have all the tools that we need to do whatever we're about to do. So there was one bit of advice, which was a mudra. So if you remember last week when Jenny was speaking about her confidence, she showed us that she had a physical action that helped generate a certain energy in her body. And that's kind of, you know, like EFT and tapping and all those other things, acupressure, acupuncture, meridian brushing, all of this stuff helps us activate certain energy in the body. Well, mudras are hand-based. And because we're going to maybe have some issues in balancing the left brain logical with the creative right brain, that's the kind of personality soul division. And I don't know if you can see that. Then this is the hand position we want to create when we're trying to connect to our higher knowledge. So it's just the thumb and the first finger. So when we come to tapping in, if we're finding that that personality is trying to drag us back, then this will help us align more with the soul and what the soul wants to speak to us. So the aim for the end of this month seems to be that time conversation that we had a few weeks ago seems to have now matured into time travel. And I'm not quite sure how that's going to show up, but it's talking of things being able to, like the snakes and ladders we spoke about, things just happening quickly and not needing like a long time for it to happen. But also I feel like the time travel is that access to our multidimensional self, from the past, from the future, from the parallel, that you'll have more of that available to you. And that means you can access the best version of you already doing the thing you want to do to get advice. So again, this is all very soulful kind of higher consciousness access information. And this is quite interesting because Aries is all about mastering using your mind to initiate ideas and to learn how to use the mind to create, which is kind of what manifesting is all about. You know, it's that creating the clear vision first, creating it in your mind as a vision, and then using your words and your thoughts to start powering it up, and then learning how to take it from that seed of an idea into an external action and, you know, whatever you're trying to build. But it's all done through feelings, through words, through thoughts, and how you build that up. So Aries is about mastering that mind control, that mind creation. And we all think we can do that. But while we focus, we probably can. But then when we're in our everyday, we let that chatter come back, you know, and that's the personality chatter that we're trying to reduce so it doesn't keep knocking us off our track. So the end of this month as well is very much focused on, so I'm just looking at my cards here to make sure I've said everything off them. So the last bit then is what's going to happen by the end of this month is this heaven on earth integration. It's almost like this is another stage of more of our soul entering our human body, which is why I kind of refer to this as heaven, the soul, earth, physical, heaven, the higher consciousness, earth, the logical. And it's the coming together of these two things is going to start shifting our bodies into a more crystalline structure. And I've heard people speak of crystalline structures and what that means in the human body, and I don't have the words for that. Maybe somebody else can explain what they think crystalline means. But I do get this feeling of like the crystalline is like circuit boards in a computer, you know, that they can hold this information and they can talk to each other and pass on us like a cellular level. And it does feel a bit more like that it's like awakening another layer of information in our body. But it's also a certain amount of fluidity. It was shown to be like, if you wanted to change who you are, you could imagine dissolving the crystals to a liquid or fluid, and then restructuring them back up into the version that you want to be. And I'm seeing a lot of this kind of like, just by snapping your fingers, you can start shifting your, it's not even just your beliefs, it's this, it's very, very structural and body related way of kind of manipulating your body to be something new. So it's almost like you design it in your head, like sit there and think, what do I want to be? How do I want to be it? And then you kind of use your energy to restructure your body to align it to this thing that you want to be. So that's the aim is, and that's what healing, heaven and earth crystalline healing is focusing on at the end of the month. And that's what we're getting ready to practice, I guess. So we're still more personality soul, and it's all about manifesting the life you want to do. So Marta's saying, beautiful card, very useful advice, thanks, excellent. How's that feeling for other people? I'm wondering if YouTube's running a bit slow, given how long it takes for messages to come up. So in terms of the vision, so I'm a soul guide and I help people find it's hard to put this into English sometimes, so I'll try and use an analogy. So it's kind of like, again, you know, you go in the jungle, you don't know where you're going, a map would be useful. So I help people work out what that map is and help them translate it to be the best map that they need. So that, and it's a very organic map, it's a very flexible map. So basically, it's almost like every time you get to a decision point in your life, this map holds true and gives you, I guess that's a compass, isn't it? It gives you the right direction to go at any one time. And I do that by speaking to your soul and getting the information from that, and then we lay it down. And it's not about having a map that's completed. It's almost like by magic, it unveils each section as you go. So that's what I help people with, is connecting to their soul. And I've got several steps to help teach people how to really get into a deep conversation with their soul. But the aim is to create this map, this vision, which we said about, you know, hold your vision this month, really hold it, hold the space of it, hold what it means to you so you feel it so strongly, it pulls you forward in your desires for what you want to build. But the problem is that sometimes we don't know what that is. And I remember sitting down with some people and saying, okay, so what do you desire? What do you want to build in your life? And everybody goes, I don't know. Because nobody really asks us that question or makes us sit down to actually draw that out. And it's not about what career you want. It's not about seeing yourself having a house or a family or a job that you want or a country you want. This is about seeing yourself behaving, feeling in a certain way, seeing yourself happy, seeing yourself contented, seeing yourself peaceful amongst chaos. If you can't see any of that, then you're not going to be able to create that vision for yourself, and you're not going to be able to hold that vision. So it's about that mind control of visualizing it first. And, you know, with all manifestation, I usually say, like, watch a movie that might represent it to help you get a more solid image of it. So you can pretend you're the actor in that movie and tune into what that might feel like, so that you can at least start visualizing it and dreaming it with the details in it. And it's about pretending every day like you already have it, is partly trying to build that muscle memory into your body to align with the thing that you want. So it's a bit like if you want money, then you have to kind of really treat everything like you would if you had money, whether that's spending money, whether that's luxuries, whatever, however you think having money would be your life, then you have to start practicing that and feeling it. So the problem is, like I said, is have you got the right vision? And I think the post has probably just gone out as I've gone live, but I was reading a book by Carlos Ruiz Ramon. He did The Labyrinth of the Spirits. And there's one section in there where he talks about a tram and destiny. And the idea being that most people are waiting for their destiny to come and meet them. But most of the time it's kind of like trampled over them, and they didn't even notice it trampling over them. And instead they end up walking along a ditch on this long road, which is kind of representing maturity, responsibility. Adults don't do that. They look after their family. They do what they're supposed to do. So that's the kind of ditch. But while walking in that ditch, they're also looking, saffron, yes, thank you. While looking in the ditch, we're also waiting and hoping that maybe that tram hasn't gone yet, or that it's still going to come past us, and that we can still jump on it. Because that tram is representing who we are. It's representing our opportunity to be ourselves. And of course, we don't want to think about the fact that we've missed that opportunity to be ourselves, because that would feel quite empty. So it's kind of like, on one hand, we've got this dream of having more fulfillment, but on the other hand, we're walking in the ditch. And that dream is kind of floating above us as a daydream, but we're still walking in the ditch. And it's about getting out of that and moving over to being aligned with your authentic self and what you really want to achieve. Yeah, so Judy's just given us an update. She says it's exactly like that. The crystalline energy is activated when a soul connection is made. And there are 6 chakras that handle the crystalline energy. Okay, so that's what's coming online then. That's why I got that message at the end of the month. So as we're connecting more to our soul, the more of our crystalline energy is activating. Fab. I knew you knew the answer. Again, it wasn't a card, unfortunately. It was another random bit of paper with random words that I was trying to work out. So the thing is with that tram, some of us are on somebody else's tram. We thought that looked better than our life, so we jumped on their tram. And we're wondering why we're not getting fulfillment and satisfaction. Well, it wasn't our tram, we shouldn't get on it. Some people are watching somebody else's tram that looks really shiny and thinking, if I make my tram look like theirs, then I'll be successful too. But again, it wasn't your tram, and it wasn't for you to copy or to try and be like that, because all you're doing is trying to force your tram to follow the same direction as theirs, but you've got your own track and your own lane that you're meant to stay on. So trying to force your tram to go in the same direction as that is not going to work either. And then some people feel that their tram is always out of reach, and the tram might be right next to them, screaming and shouting, get on, and they'll still be kind of like blinkered, going, oh, I wonder where my tram is. And that's because we're too scared sometimes to step out of our comfort zone. We dream about it, we want it, but we're not willing to take the action of being uncomfortable to get it. So the tram is a really good analogy for that kind of the vision that we want to think about this month, and how to tune into the energy of our tram that we want to be on. But it's also the energy of, there's like 2. Imagine the tram line is your timeline, like we talked about last time, and that you and your frequency has to match it to see it. So if your frequency is too low, you're not going to see your tram. If your frequency is focused on somebody else's tram, then you'll see everybody else's trams, but you won't see yours. So you have to work on building your frequency up by working on your soul and personality, which will allow this crystalline energy to activate, so that you can then be more in alignment with your tram for you to get on. But then when you get on it, it's not for you to then say, take me to this place. The idea of the tram is it's your destiny. It's a journey. You don't know where it's going, but it'll take you to all the things that you need to enjoy life, to have an adventure, to be an interesting experience, to learn new skills, to learn to be more connected to your divinity, to realize how wonderful you are. But if you keep trying to block it and get off it or change its direction, you're never going to see the full fulfillment of that. Oh, excellent. People are liking the analogy. Cool. Sharon was trying it as I spoke. Fabulous. Yeah, so it's, I'm trying to think, Ruiz, there's 3 parts to his name. Carlos Ruiz Zafron, that's it. That's the author of the book. So, but this was just one tiny bit. It's kind of not directly related to the story, but just for you to get a feeling for what vision means and what we do as humans to avoid our destiny to a certain degree. But remember, when I speak of destiny, I'm talking about the fact that you are the creator of the destiny, and that creation is your best, most divine life. That's the destiny now. It's not like some other destiny, you like to serve others or to be an angel or to be a carer. Your destiny is to be the divine version of you, this perfect balance of personality, soul, human body and mind and spirit. That's the destiny that we're trying to get to. So any questions on that? Yeah, Judy's saying great analogy, cool. So I think there was a couple more versions of the tram. I posted it early on today, so I'll post that onto YouTube tomorrow. So I think that that kind of tram, I know when I listen to it, just like that, oh yeah, that kind of sums up my work. So when I try to help people, it's funny in a way, because it's the same happened to me when I was teaching dance. When I started teaching dance, I thought, oh, I'll just teach the dance I've learned. It's partner dancing. I'll just teach the dance I've learned, and I'll teach others how to do the moves. Then I realized there was no connection to their bodies. So I thought, okay, so I'll teach them how to move their bodies. Then I realized that they might have had rhythm, but they actually couldn't listen to the music. So I thought, okay, so I'll teach them to understand music and to be more musical rather than just rhythmic, and how to move to the different frequencies in music. And then I realized they didn't understand energy. So for that expression of the music, it's a combination of movement and energy, and it comes from within externally, you know, to be expressed and to represent the music. And they didn't get that either. So I started teaching energy. And it just shows that, you know, most of us are focused on that end goal of, I just want to dance. And it's a bit like that spiritual bypassing conversation that we've had for the last few weeks. All the other steps that you need to do that are ignored, and people are not interested, and they don't want to learn, and they don't want to experience those individual steps. And sometimes we want to run through them so quickly to get to the end, when all the fun is in that learning beforehand. And it's the same with soul work, you know, helping people first recognize there is a soul and a personality, and separating those voices is the first step. The second step then is learning the language of your soul and how you speak to yourself, and what form that communication comes in. Is it visions? Is it sound? Is it words? How to work with all of that. And then it's trusting it and valuing it, and even considering it as being part of your work. And then from there, it's like, then how do you co-create with it? So you can see how these are all going in levels up. But all we want to be like soul aligned, happy, blissful, happy people doing exactly what we want to do, with lots of money in a big house. You know, that's where we think we want to be. And we're missing all of that bit before, which is the growth and the expansion and the interesting moments of ahas, when you suddenly get an insight that shows you a completely different way or to look at the world, or a different world view, you know, that really shifts your paradigm on a deeper level. So hopefully, oh gosh, we've run out of time. Oh, sorry, guys. Well, we've got a couple more weeks to carry on this conversation of manifesting using the mind of Aries, but I hope that gives you some insights. Tomorrow night, I'm doing the full moon in Aries, which will involve a meditation that will help activate these quantum human skills of mind creation, but also it helps us realize that when we get incarnated for the first time, like I said, some people don't want to be here. They want to be back in source because that's the best place to be. But it's now about rewriting that story and saying, well, actually, source and the human body together is the best place to be. If we can master it and use the two together, we can create amazing things. And it's about getting that idea and concept right down into our bodies, so we feel it every day. That kind of regal King Arthur sensation is the start of that. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. And then we do a critical questioning breakouts. And I do these because I can talk to you guys as much as I want to, but you guys won't necessarily hear everything I say. And, you know, I'm sending you the frequencies. We're weaving together tonight these things that I've spoken about. But if you want to be able to make habits based off of this, then when you speak it out loud yourself, when you think of the questions and speak the answers, the energy starts magnifying and shifting in new ways. So we have 3 breakout rooms then with these questions afterwards. And it's via replay or it's via online. And the great thing is that, you know, you can replay it because it's part of a membership. So you replay it all month until by the end of the month, you've kind of learned that lesson, and then we move into the next one. So that's my first step of learning personality and soul. And even though I help people create a vision, it's all about being soul-led, soul-aware, and soul-focused now, I think, to move into the new, what people are starting to call the golden age. But I think that's what we are here to teach people, is how to be more soulful. Because, you know, being personality-led hasn't got us very much happiness recently, has it? And I think that's why we were talking about spiritual bypassing and things, because, you know, there is a lot of spiritual content out there, but actually getting to know your own personal soul is not the same as reading spiritual books or listening to somebody else speak about spirituality. The real bliss, satisfying, contentment, powerful feeling comes from your own connection to your soul. That's where the power is. So thank you guys for joining me again. And that was kind of quick. I don't know where time went, but hey, we started the conversation on time going quick, so we can end on that too. So has anybody got anything to add before I sign off? Beautiful learning today. Thank you, Marta. Yeah, as I say, I thought the energies felt good this month, but like I said, it's hard to know when it says things will happen in what month. It's hard to know what month we're talking about in terms of the space-time continuum. So it's I'm kind of being flexible as I can, but hopefully these words will at least make you start thinking differently and create something special for October. But as I say, I'll be back next Monday at 8 p.m. to share more with you, because now we'll be just watching this energy through the month to see how it's building up, what new twists and turns may appear, and then I'll share with you as it goes. Well, thank you guys for joining, and thanks for the crystalline energy update there from Judy. That's really important. And I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.